4 ways to find cash buyers. Okay. Yes, my handwriting's terrible, but I get deals, so whatever. Okay. So there are 4 ways in wholesaling real estate to find cash buyers. There's it really comes down to 4 ways. So let's kind of break down the 4 ways. And I don't care what your guru says. I am here to simplify the wholesaling real estate business. I am not here to make it more stressful. I'm not here to make it more complicated. I'm here to actually simplify the stress of it. And one quote I can always tell you is gurus make wholesaling complicated so they can sell you the solution. I take the complicatedness out of wholesaling and just share with you exactly how to do it for free. And that's kind of the difference. So most gurus will tell you there's like 15 different cash buyers when if you don't do it right, you'll never get a deal and all this bad stuff. When the truth is, if you look at finding a cash buyer, 99.99, like unless it was like an insane one, like there's actually more than one way to find a cash buyer than these 4 if you're really going to get it. But there's for about 95% of cash buyers, there's 4 ways. Theoretically, there's 7, and I'll share the 7, but let's do the 4 main ones because some of these branch off. I'm just letting everybody know. So remember, guys, you paid me $4,000 for the seminar, so act accordingly, okay? Number 1, this is probably the easiest one for most people. So let's, like, you're broke, right? Like, what do we do? So number 1 is going to just be Facebook groups. And we're going to do like a macro perspective, and then we're going to kind of go a little more micro on this, okay? So Facebook groups is going to be number 1, all right? So there's actually 2 ways to do Facebook groups. So they're both free, but they're both a little different. You guys got to understand. So we have, we'll make this one red so we can kind of see the subsections. You can post on Facebook on basically Facebook investing groups to find cash buyers. So, hey, is there any cash buyers in this, and we have deals we're trying to sell, right? And then there's number 2, there's actually what we call harvest. And that is so bad. Oh my gosh. All right. I call it harvest. And this is when I just go in. This is when I go in and find other people's posts in a group, and I just harvest the emails and I DM people that claiming to be cash buyers from about 3 or 4 months ago. So one example of this is I'll pop it up while I'm talking, but I just go to a real estate investing group. So I can just basically go here and I'll go to Facebook and I'm just going to put in real. Let's just do the really quick one. Okay, this is a really simple one. And where am I going to find it? So, for example, here, let me show you. So let's just go to a regular Facebook group here. So I'm on the Metro Detroit Real Estate Investors group. So all I'm going to do is just scroll down here and we're going to find something. Jonathan posted here 4 days ago. So let's just check this one out. Like this is the harvest section. Okay. So right here. Hello, I have 10 homes for sale in Detroit. All tenants are current. Contact me for call asking $400K. I go in the comments here, and any of these Section 8, let's see. This sounds good. What do you need for us to set up time? Are you looking to PA or use your title company? Do you mind an under assignment for a very quick closing after inspections? Interested? Do you have pics to share? So Ashley looks like she's a cash buyer. She looks like a realtor. We got other ones interested in doing a 1031 exchange. Email the queen. That probably looks like someone's trying to sell something up. I keep going here. I'm looking for feedback on the newest rental listing. No. Just can keep going through here, Let's see. Looking for a duplex with 2 garages. So this person's looking for a duplex. I can kind of keep going here. Hi, guys. Looking for a rental. No. I'll do this too. Where is it? Here we are. So I want to get a little more specific on this when I'm in the Facebook group. So all I'm basically going to do here is just go to cash buyer. Right, all I'm going to do is search cash buyer in this group, right? So Christina says here, she says, attention wholesalers, cash buyer in Michigan looking for properties in below. Email me your deals. Seemed like she might be a cash buyer. Well, obviously we got to ask the questions, but like, this is pretty easy, right? Like, I mean, this is how we find this is the harvest section, I could say, right? And then, attention cash buyers, what percentage are you buying at, right? I'll comment here. This guy looks like he looks like, so what I do is just like message this guy. Like, hey, are you looking to buy any more properties for cash? I'm a wholesaler. Then you can go from there. It's really easy to harvest from there, right? And then if you want to learn exactly what to post, So I kind of put post on there. So let me show you. All I have to do is I'll just go on YouTube. It's at freewholesaling.com, the copying you have to do. But yeah, Facebook cash buyers. Rick, excuse me for a second. And so we use a very, very, very specific ad copy. So this is at freewholesaling. I'm just pulling up the YouTube video that I have on it. And then the freewholesaling.com, you can just copy the ad copy. But we have ad copy of what to post. So if you look here on this video, I basically post these in like, honestly, I would probably post this on my, I'd probably post this on that Detroit group. So it's basically this one. Is in the description. Yeah, it's right here. So here's my ad copy pretty much. So I just write this and then I post in the groups. Now, a lot of people have watched that video, so they're using a little more. But pretty much what it is, where is it? Not the like video. Oh, yeah, right here. Houses at a deep discount. If you're in Port St. Lucie, market, and if you're looking to buy off-market properties for 30 to 40% off market value and to make big profits on your next rental or flip, then PM me, drop me your email message. Guys, you'll have 3 or 4 or 5. I can tell you straight up, guys, you'll probably have 5 cash buyers contact you every time you post. So I hope you guys understand the difference between posting and harvesting. Posting is when I post this ad copy. Actually, let me put it on the YouTube comments. So let me just copy. It won't be formatted, but I think you guys know. Now, if you're like, I would put Detroit, right? But like, guys, you post that, you'll probably get 5 or 6 cash buyers every single time. And if you do that in a bunch of groups, once or twice a day, I think it'll be fine. So let me post it in the comments. It should go through. All right. So it should be on YouTube, but I think it's kind of, it got posted as 2 comments, but you guys can go in there, copy it if you really want. But like, that's honestly how, like, I know I'm glossing a lot of this stuff over, but I just want you guys to understand, like, I'm glossing it over because it is all free. Like, the insane detailed like tutorials on it are at freewholesaling.com, but really, like, it works really well, guys and gals. And so that is kind of what we're talking about. The first part, Facebook groups. People understand what I say, but they don't go as hard in the paint as they should with it. So Facebook groups are amazing, guys. So again, just recapping, there are 2 things. There are posting and then there's harvesting. You'll find a ton. Like, I'm telling you straight up, like, probably in minutes, you'll find your first one, like I did when I popped it up. You could probably find 50 to 100 in probably 30 minutes. I'm not like that's even like conservative. I think I found 250 in 45 minutes. I did a live stream where I showed how many I can pull. But here's the problem. I want you guys to understand how Facebook groups work. Okay. So let's do blue. All right. So let's say I do a lot, right? So let's say after everything, I pull in an hour. Okay. I pull 200 parentheses cash buyers. Okay. They're parentheses for a reason. All right. They claim to be cash buyers, but I asked them their questions like, hey, proof of funds, are you okay with wholesaling, assignment fee, title, all that stuff, right? Which I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. Most likely, you are going to probably pull, and I'm just saying this nicely, at most 2 to 4 legit buyers. Okay. And what is a legit buyer, right? Like, what makes a buyer legit? Well, what makes a buyer legit is, number 1, they're ready to go. Okay. They're okay with you making money. They're like, if I send it to them, they're ready to go. 200, a lot of these are going to be basically wholesalers trying to daisy chain you, cash buyers that aren't looking to buy cash, like all this crazy stuff. When you get to the right questions and you really find, their proof of funds, how many properties they bought in cash, title companies, they're okay with yours, all this stuff, it's going to come 2 to 4. Now, that's really good for an hour. Like 2 to 4, that means if you just spend 5 hours, you're probably going to get 10 to 15 really good cash buyers in a week. And that's honestly all you really need to sell your deals. Like, I'll tell you straight up, if you have 10 good buyers, if you have 10 buyers, and I'm going after a theoretical deal where it's, let's say it's locked up. It's locked up for 100K. And I try to sell it for 120K. with 10 really good buyers, I'll tell you straight up where the numbers are going to show. I'll make it green for money. I would probably say that I'm just trying to think of math here. Probably 4 of them are just going to say no because it's not the right criteria. 2 of them are going to be at like 90K. Okay. And then we have 2, which will probably be at 110. And then maybe I would say 2 at probably 120. And these are how the numbers really work. So we're going to have 4 here that are going to say no. Just want everyone to understand that. Like if I have 10 buyers, they're all going to be so much different. And you got to legit call these people out. And honestly, 2 out of 4 is not like, I hope you guys don't understand. When I say legit buyer, like I call them, they're ready to make a decision. They're not going to ghost me. I have an actual relationship with them. This is like, this is the truth. Okay. So 4 of the 10 are going to say no. Just, it's not their, people are just interesting with their, okay. 2 of them are going to be at like the super low ball price. I'm just being honest with you. Okay. It won't even work for you. Okay. 2 of them will actually be at a decent price for you to make money, but you know, they'll buy quick, but unfortunately they're probably not going to be the best price. And then you have 2 like Goldilocks people. That's like, it's the perfect deal, right? They got all these rentals and they're ready to buy. That is pretty much how they work. And remember guys, this is all recorded. So just so y'all know, I get in little rants here, but, all right, let's go back here to the Facebook group. So that was number 1. What is number 2, right? Now, number 1, it's good. You get a big volume, but the quality's down. So that's why from 200, it gets to like 2 or 4, right? So let's kind of talk about number 2. All right. Now, number 2 right here is pretty much going to be the 4 rents. Okay. And why am I so hard in the paint when it comes to 4 rents? And I'm going to go another rant here, just really quick. So a cash buyer, okay, they have 2 reasons to buy. All right. I just want you guys to understand. A cash buyer only wants to buy your deal for 2 reasons. Most of the time, 2 reasons. Okay. 90% of the time. Now, there's 3 of them theoretically. So the theoretical one is they can buy it and just hold on to the property, not rent it out, not do it, just literally land bank it. That's very rare. I don't find many like that. So I'm going to kind of keep that away. Okay. Most cash buyers for your deals are either going to, number 1, want to flip it. And that is their sole reason for wanting to do it. Okay. They want to buy it and flip it. Okay. That's pretty much it. They just want to flip the property. That's it. That makes they want to buy it for 120 and then sell it for 160, 170. They're looking to make money. There's no shame in that, right? Like, duh, that makes sense, right? Or number 2, they want to rent it out. Those are the 2 reasons why your cash buyer is going to want to buy a property. So if I know that it's a weird split. Every market's different. I would say flippers are going to be 70% and we're going to have 30% rentals. Some markets, it's like 60-40. Some are 50-50. If I can just guess, which I'm going to get torn up in the comments, but this is just my guess. I would say 70, honestly, like thinking about this, 75-25. And that's pushing it. About most of them just want to make a profit, right? And then 25, and then some would like to flip it and rent it out. So they're kind of in between 2 and they kind of want to burr it. And really, like if someone's going to burr it or buy it for like a sub 2 deal, it's theoretically flipping it and then reselling it, or they take over the subject to and then they rent it out, right? Now, if they do a wrap, that's the theoretically a flip. So pretty like they're all kind of like this. And even if somebody wants to hold it, they're holding it for appreciation, which is going to be for flip just to make money. And they're eventually probably going to sell it, right? So pretty much when you look at cash buyers, they're wanting to buy it to either flip it or rent it out. Now, 25% of all the cash buyers are going to be for pretty much renting it out. Now, I'm trying to say this as respectfully as possible, but like if you're in a high crime area or an area where properties are worth $40,000, $50,000, it's a lot harder to basically flip those houses, right? But it's a lot, but you get Section 8, you get a lot of good rentals. So if I'm in an area where the prices are really low and there's high crime, there's going to be a lot. This number is probably, so there are parts of Detroit, Cleveland, Memphis that I know where it's like 80% rentals. Okay. Every market's different, guys. I just want everybody to understand that every single market is different, right? So I have an area, it's even by zip code in my market where it's a higher crime area, but they're amazing Section 8 tenants. Like the tenants are great, just a higher crime area where most people buy it and rent it out. My cash buyers in that area. I have flippers that won't even go near it. So in some areas like that, or if you want to get rental properties, right? We're going to want to figure out the cash buyer numero uno who wants to rent it out. Now, Facebook groups and all the old ones, they want to flip it. But if I want to find specifically the cash buyers that want to rent things out, that want to buy it to rent, where am I going to find them? Most likely, they already have bought in other properties and rented it out, and they want to buy more rentals at cheap discounts because that's what we do in wholesaling. Where are they going to be? They're going to be on the for rents. That's why I would tell you guys to go to the for rents, because they're sitting there. They're chilling, right? Like if I want to go, I'm wearing a Dolphin shirt today. So if I want to go find Miami Dolphins fans, am I going to go to Pittsburgh? No. Okay. Like there are some, but not many, right? I can go to two ways. I can go to the Miami Dolphins, fan club on a Facebook group, and then they're there, right? I ain't going to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers Facebook group, right? If I want to find people that are into knitting, I'm going to go to knitting stores, right? If I want to find cash buyers that want to rent properties out, where are they chilling? They're chilling on the for rents, because I can't just look at a property and say, yeah, he's looking to rent that. He's looking. You don't, right? You got to go where they're chilling, right? And so that's why I'd go to Miami. I'd probably go to Hard Rock Stadium, and I'll find a lot of Dolphins fans there, right? Those are the reasons why people are looking to sell real estate. So that's what I just want to let everyone to understand. Why am I so adamant about finding the for rents? Because 99% of the cash buyers that are going to rent it out already have other properties they're looking to rent out. You don't want to be the first person's first rental. So where do I go for the for rents, right? So pretty much the ways you go to the for rents is I like Zillow. Zillow is probably going to be the number one option because most people don't have the money for it. So you kind of go to the Zillow for rents, right? Great strategy. You just call them up and you say, hey, are you looking to buy any more properties for cash? Pretty simple. Number two, MLS. Now, there are some issues with the Zillow for rents and the MLS because some of these properties are both listed with a realtor. And that's not bad. But we got to understand if, Sally Sue Realtor is listing this property, she's not going to, I can't give up the client's information. So what I'm going to do is if I find out that 134 Main Avenue, okay, is listed on the MLS or a realtor's listing it for rent, I'm just going to look it up. I'm just going to look up the owner. So I'm just going to probably go to the property appraiser site, right? I'm probably going to the property appraiser site, find the owner, or find an LLC, and I can probably skip trace the mailing address and find the mailing address if I really had to, right? That's pretty simple, right? Most of these guys and gals are LLCs at their personal residence, so it's not really that big of a deal. But if they're listed with the realtor, don't fret over it. The realtor won't give you the information, but you just find the property address, you find the property appraiser site, you find the mailing address or the LLC, and you go from there. Also, here's another really cool hack I can tell you is if I find 123 Main Avenue and I find it just goes to an LLC, I'm going to look up the deed to the house. Okay. Now the deed is going to say that I'll call it, Zach House LLC. Okay. I'm going to look at the deed and it says that Zach House LLC, right? Zach House LLC is the buyer. But guess what? When I sign the deed, it's going to be Zach Ginn, and it's going to say Zach Ginn on the bottom, right? It's going to say Zach Ginn on the bottom. Now I know Zach Ginn's the cash buyer. Boom, right? Because LLCs aren't people, right? They're a collection of people, but still a president, co-sign, somebody has to sign that deed. And so even if it's got a mortgage on the property, so you have to figure that out, right? And some people say go to True People Search if it's listed with a realtor. I wouldn't because the tenant's information is most likely going to be on there. But that is how you kind of, if they're listed with a realtor. Now, my favorite is when it's the actual landlord. I love it when it's actually the landlord that lists it themselves, so they don't deal with a realtor. They're kind of, self-starters more or less. So if it is landlord listed, that means their phone number is already there. Like it says property owner and their phone number is right there, 111-110034, right? Their phone number is already I just call them up instantly and then boom, right? Usually says property owner on Zillow. That's the best way. So what website do I find MLS listed properties? I think Caldwell Banker is actually the best one for rents, for MLS rents. I have personally found they are the best one. I don't know why, but from all the free websites, honestly, I could tell you is Caldwell Banker, the for rents for the area are probably the best MLS listed rentals out there. But I prefer landlord listeds. So for rent by owner, FRBO, those are actually really good. So that's what I really like. And yeah, there's plenty of cash buyers from them. You just call them up. They're all at freehousing.com where I share. But really, guys, I absolutely love the for rent. So really, you could pretty much find most cash buyers you need from Facebook groups or for rents. But I mean, just use the post-harvest strategy, right? You have those strategies. So what's number 3 here? Number 3 is just going to be probably the most common one, right? So what is a cash buyer? A cash buyer is somebody that buys a property for cash. Pretty simple. That's duh, Zach. So if somebody buys it, what if I had a list of every single cash purchase? That's it. It's the cash sales. Specifically cold calling them. So you get a list of all properties that have been sold. Okay. You pretty much just go on PropStream and find all the properties that have been sold in the past year, all for cash. And be like, hey, you looking to buy any more, buddy? That's it. Like, I think so many people really complicate it. But really, that's how you do it. You just got to go out here. Like, you can use any service you really want, but like, I can tell you, just go to the cash sales and you'll be fine. So there's really 2 ways to find it. Let me just log in here. Oh, while I'm doing this, but yeah, cash. So if somebody bought a property for cash, all you need to do is just go out here and pull the list yourself, right? There's plenty of ways to pull that list. Let me go log in here. I'll just show you how. There's 2 services really you can use. There's obviously free and paid ways to do it. But let's see. Let's see. I gotta use my other computer. I don't know my email on that one, but no big deal. All right. So pretty much all you gotta do is just go to the cash sales. So for the cash sales, there's gonna be 3 ways to find them, really, pretty much more or less, right? So pretty much you can use like listrei.com, basically PropStream, or you can use zacdata.com. All right. Those are paid softwares, obviously, but it's going to be hard to do it yourself. So honestly, those are probably going to be the best ones. And at freehousing.com, we kind of break down how to do it. Pretty much there's a cash buyers tab on each one. And that's how they pretty much work. And you'll have all cash sales for the past year. You can kind of filter out from there. Just go to freehousing.com in the bottom right hand corner right there, and it'll show you how to do it. But they're pretty self-explanatory from there. But yeah, they're at freehousing.com, and I'll try to pop it up on here. Actually, if I make an incognito tab, I think I can get in there really quick. I'll just show you like a really quick example on here. I just got to sign in on this. So I have a new computer for the stream in here. So, all right. But pretty much the point of it is hey, I saw you bought this house for cash, Mr. Cash Buyer. Are you looking to buy any more for cash? Yes. Well, I'm a wholesaler. And you go from there and ask the right questions that we teach you exactly how to ask, right? I think that's sort of the point here. So many wholesalers get really, I think they get really confused with it. But really, it's not as complicated as it seems. So many people think it. So let's go into, again. Oh my Lord, they make it so complicated. Okay, we're in. So I got to exit out some of the deals here. But really, you just use those 2 softwares. Again, they're absolutely free to use, but they work really well. So let's get into how to do it on here. All right. See, I got to block my location on here, but all right, here we go. So let's show you. So it'll take me like 5 seconds to find this, but let's see, where's this one? Here we go. So all you got to do is just go into PropStream here, and this is basically listrei.com. So all you got to do is once you're in there, somebody give me a market. Just do Las Vegas really quick. Pretty much all I got to do, I'll just go in here to Las Vegas. I can filter. I can go through all these things, but all I just do a quick list. All you got to do is go to cash buyers. And then from there, I can kind of do property characteristics. I want for residential real estate, single family houses, right? I can add multifamily. Let's just do single family for now. I don't really care about MLS. Years of ownership doesn't really matter. Owner type, I can do individual, but I don't think that matters too much. And then all I care about is, I can do this too. Numbers of property owned, minimum 2. That's one I've found a lot of people like a lot. That person had to own at least 2 properties. And then you can go through, you can even go through all the valuation and equity, right? I don't think it's going to affect too much, right? Maybe you want to make the value at most 500K. You really want to get crazy with it. But pretty much it'll give you a list of cash sales right here, right? It's not that complicated. So all I got to do is I'll go to list view. And then the only thing you got to do is go by sale date. And then go by the most recent ones. And these are going to be recent properties that were bought from cash, right? Pretty simple. So like right here, Lee Min Ging. So some people just buy properties for cash. It looks like she lives in California. So this looks like a rental property here. So I got her information here. Go to mailing address. I can skip trace it. Boom, ready to go. That's really how you do it. Propstream works the same way with it. Batch Leads works the same way with it. But really, that's how you do it. You go to those softwares from there. Makes it pretty easy. But there's other ways around it. You can do it for free. So let me just show you that really quick. So we have cash sales and we have listrei.com, right? So let's go to the next one here. So that's numero uno, right? So let's make it a little star. So that's one way to find cash sales. The next way to find cash sales is just pretty much just doing realtors. And I actually like using realtors for cash sales. So what I basically did last week was I just went to, pretty much went to redfin.com. And then I went to the solds. Okay. I pretty much went to the sold. And all you got to do is find ugly looking houses on the sold. So in this particular case, when I went to the solds, my other criteria on these was I wanted it below 100K, which is pretty much the cheap houses. And then I called all the realtors that were buyer's agents. Okay. Again, then I looked for the buyer's agent, which they showed. Zillow has that too, but buyer's agent. So all I did was I cared about sold properties that sold for 100K or below. And I looked for the buyer's agents. And all I did was cold call the buyer's agent. That's all I did. Zillow sometimes has these cash sales, but they work really, really well. I absolutely love it. But guys, it works so well. So many wholesalers complicate it. If you go to Redfin, go to Zillow, go by the solds. Really, you can kind of get in the nitty gritty of it. But honestly, if the property is sold for below 100K, look for the buyer's agent there. You're going to be fine. I'll give you a quick example here. So let's go into Redfin. Let's see here. What market should I do in Redfin? So let's just do Atlanta. Why not? I'm feeling Atlanta today. I have no idea why. I think we have a lot of supporters in Atlanta, so let's help them out. So all I'm going to do is we're going to go to Hotlanta. All right. So all we're going to go here. Where is it? Here we go. So I'm in Atlanta right here. All I'm going to go to is the sold tab. Sold in the past month. That's all I really care about, right? And then I'm going to click done. And then price, let's max out the price at, I'm going cheap. So 175. Okay. And that's pushing it too. Let's try to get some cheaper ones. 150. Let's see here. Some cheap real estate, but not bad. Home type doesn't really matter. I can really filter down even more. Like I do like how they do that. But honestly, like I do fixer upper, all this stuff. But pretty much that's what you can do for the solds. And so if I go like right here, let's see here. So where is it? Here we go. So I clicked on that property right there. And pretty much what I did when I clicked on that property was it popped up this address. So this address was 1202 Key Road, Southeast in Atlanta. I mean, guys, this looks like a good investment home, right? That's all we can really guess on, right? Like we can't get exactly perfect with it, but we can sort of guesstimate to a point. But yeah, this is absolutely free to do. So what I basically did was I just got out of here. So I looked the house sold 2 weeks ago. So this is what the description was. So this is something I'd probably call on, right? So fully cleared and ready for renovations. Great residential opportunity in the busy city of Atlanta. Properties located near numerous amenities. So it needs a renovations, right? Listed by Nikki. Bought with Simone Cyan of Keller Realty's Atlanta North. So all I'm going to do is click this, click search, and then I'm going to find some Simone Cyan. So let's go here. I just searched her up on realtor.com. Shout out to her. And what I found here was Simone's information. So let's go to Simone right here. So Simone was the buyer's agent with this property. So what we're going to do really quick is we're going to call Simone and we're going to see if Simone has any cash buyers for somebody in Atlanta. All right. Let me know in the comments if you want to be the person in Atlanta. We'll go call Simone real quick and just test it out, right? 3752. All right.
Please leave your message for Corey.
Hey, this is Zach. Please give me a call back. Trying to reach Simone. Thank you. All right, no big deal. We just tried it out. But pretty much from there, like I don't know who's Corey, but whatever. We're just trying to reach out to Simone right there. And then she'd be a cash buyer for us, right? That is the point, guys and gals. Like you can find that strategy really quick. There's a ton of money with realtors out here. I think a lot of people feel like realtors are the enemy for us wholesalers, but really they can be a huge blessing for us to get these type of leads really well. So it works really, really well. So that's kind of how we do the realtor. And then the third tactic right here, which is going to be pretty much right here. So let's pop it up. This is a controversial topic I always talk about, but it's true. Oh, that looks nasty. All right. I don't know what I did there. All right. You can steal cash buyers. And I say this all the stinking time, but you can steal cash buyers. And I am not very popular with the gurus on this one because they don't like it, but I could care less. You guys know you can actually steal cash buyers from other wholesalers. I don't even think that, honestly, there's nothing really wrong with that per se in my mind. You can just steal other people's cash buyers. And what I mean by stealing cash buyers, if I have Joe Smith, which is a common name though, so I'm not like going after anyone. If Joe Smith is flexing a check, okay? If he is flexing on everyone on like a nice little check right here, okay? It says, 10K, boop, 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 great, right? And then the memo says, assignment for 147th Jones Street, Atlanta, like 22211. Guess what I'm gonna do if I see that? Guess what I'm gonna do when I see that little memo on there, right? I'm gonna steal this guy's cash buyer. Like, guys, if you're flexing and you want to post a check and you put the address on it, I'm just gonna steal it. Okay. So what do I do here? All I gotta do is once I get the address, I'm gonna look up the owner. The owner on record. And guess who the owner on record is going to be? The cash buyer. It's going to be under probably, North ATL Rentals, Inc. And then I have the address and I get someone's phone number. Guess what? I know North Atlanta Rentals was the person that got the assignment on this check. Boom. It is insane. But you can steal people's cash buyers all day like that. There are people every day stunting They're flexing, they're stunting. And really, I love it when people flex because, I mean, obviously, I like when people post their wins on stuff, but usually they don't post the address on it. Some people on like the guru groups love doing this. And I'm like, just steal the cash buyer. This is how you steal anyone's cash buyer. And I would like to say, I've done this millions of times. I had one guy just flexing on, I did this deal here. I'm like, okay, well, let me use the cash buyer. I think every time I go to a new market, I look for like 4 of these, and it works so well. And I get in trouble for that, but you can definitely steal cash buyers. So just really quick again, guys. So how do you deal with the cash sales correctly, right? You go either to listarea.com, zacday.com, actually pull it, skip trace, call it. You can go to realtor.com. Actually, no, you go from realtors, you go to realtor.com, redfin.com, realtor.com. Just get the solds, the cheap real estate in your market, right? So if I'm like California, maybe it's like 250 is the cheap real estate, right? Go to the buyer's agents, and pretty much you can kind of cold call them from there. Next up, you just steal cash buyers. That is how you do it. Now, screenshot this really quick. Remember, at the YouTube channel, you can replay this and go from there. But that's pretty much how you do it. So not trying to complicate this for y'all. But yeah, that's how you do it. I should probably make this eraser bigger, but whatever. Whee! All right. So that is cash sales, y'all. So let's get to the next part here. All right. So that is 3. So what's number 4, right? Number 4 is going to be, and I'm telling you, this is one that I've been speaking about forever. It's not like the most amazing one in the world, but it's just auctions. Go to your local property auctions. And there's 3 ways you can kind of go off the auctions. Now, remember, cash sales are even going to be under here. So it's pretty simple. So what are the auctions going to be? You can go to like in-person auctions. Those are my favorite. Because if there's 40 people bidding, there's 40 bids, there's only going to be basically 1 winner. So that means there's going to be 39 sad buyers. Which means we get an offer. We can offer our property to these 39 sad buyers that have all this cash and they just couldn't buy a property. If you go to the in-person auctions for taxes and stuff, works really, really well too, right? But they're all super sad that they couldn't buy the property and they have all this money and they just want to buy things for cash. Well, let's turn that frown upside down, guys, right? We're going to turn that frown upside down, offer them some cash, right? Now, there's kind of like there's online auctions. Oh my Lord. All right. There's online auctions too. And you can just kind of find the sold ones that won, pretty much the winners. And that's not bad, you know, and then you just find them out and then call them up, see if they want to be a cash buyer. That's not the end of the world, right? But those pretty much the 2 types of auctions you can find. So that is how you do it on there. And then really, that's pretty much the 4 ones. There are some bonus ones I give to you that aren't as common, but we have used. So I'll tell you. Number 5, this is a big one. So I'll give you a quick bonus, right? Title companies. Why do title companies work so much for cash buyers? Okay. Title companies work really well is because title companies facilitate, if you have a good wholesaling title company, and I'll put that little parentheses. If you have a wholesaling title company, they probably do a good wholesaling title company will hopefully do 10 to 15 deals a month. And on closing day, the title company is like, if you guys get the cash buyer's like, if you got any more deals, send them over. So that title company probably has hundreds of cash buyers in their database that have bought properties for cash, hundreds, right? Hundreds of cash buyers. That means, why don't we just ask? I think that's the most important part. Ask the title company for cash buyers. What cash buyers? Do you have a list of your cash buyers that I can contact? Why do you want to ask them? Number one, if they use a cash buyer, if the title company reaches out, that means that's more deals that can be sold with their title company so they can make more money. And that is the point. And so that is number 5. That's a quick bonus, but wholesaling title companies actually do work. So you can use that for it. All you got to do is just ask. And I promise you, the worst thing they say is no, but it's definitely a really good way to find buyers. I don't think a lot of wholesalers really talk about that way too much, but that's really how you do it. So that's pretty much how you find them. And so the last question here, is the last question, probably the most important question for you guys is, what are the right questions to ask, right? So questions to ask buyers. Because there's pretty much 7 to 8 questions you have to ask your cash buyers when you get them and they say they're a cash buyer, and you got to make sure it's actually legit and going to work, right? So let's break this down. So questions to ask cash buyers. I'm going to scroll it down, screenshot. We'll do a kind of macro perspective on this, but these are the questions you have to ask your cash buyers. Number 1 is probably the easiest one, but a proof of funds. Pretty simple, right? I want a proof that you have money in your bank account. Pretty simple. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but just get a proof of funds from your cash buyer. I promise you, the legit cash buyers don't really care. You just want to make sure you're dealing with somebody that doesn't have the money in their bank account, and make sure when it comes to a proof of funds, they actually have their name on the account. Too many times I found fake cash buyers using their guru's name on it. So they'll have like, Guru Smith funding gives a 400,000 line of credit. Guys, no. Okay. What I want you guys to understand is I don't want a hard money lender. All right. So let's do this. Hard money buyer or a cash buyer. Okay. What did the title of this video say? Did it say how to find hard money buyers or cash buyers? Right. I'll tell you this straight up. A hard money buyer is going to ruin your deal. Most of them, some of them do well, but most of them are. So we are not going. Oh my gosh. I can't even write a straight line. You guys get the, I don't want a line of credit. I don't want any of this stuff. Okay. I want a cash buyer. That is what I want. I want a cash buyer. I do not want a hard money buyer. I want you guys to understand this. This is very, very important. I want a cash buyer, not a hard money buyer. Once you understand that, you won't come up to me and say, Zach, my deal, it got screwed over. Oh my gosh, the lender. This is so funny. I get this all the time. And I'm doing some one-on-ones today, so it's going to be hilarious. I don't think anyone on here is going to tell me, but like, Zach, the last day of the closing and the funding didn't clear. Why didn't the funding clear? Because the house has no roof. It has plumbing issues. Of course, the lender, the hard money lender, ain't going to lend you money on this. But guess what? A cash buyer is buying it for cash, so it doesn't stinking matter. Weird. Like, I have so many gurus given their hard money lenders, and then like they're acting like they're cash guys. We are dealing with cash buyers. So many beginner wholesalers have this issue because you listen to stupid broke gurus that don't do wholesaling deals. I'm telling you, cash buyers only. It drives me. But the market's there. I don't care what the market says. You still got to focus on cash buyers. This video was about cash buyers, not hard money buyers. The difference between a cash buyer and a hard money buyer is that they have a proof of funds right here. A proof of funds. I'm going to break this iPad in a second. They have a proof of funds. A hard money buyer has a basically what pretty much a lender, basically a funding lender. Okay, it has a letter of funding, line of credit. Okay, cash buyer. All right, that is the point. That is what I'm talking about. Their name has to be on the account. If it's not their name, it better be their spouse's name. And if it ain't their spouse's name, I don't really care. Okay. Just letting you guys know. Okay. So it's just, it is so funny, but it drives me crazy. Okay. Now you can do private money. That's money in the bank account. But if you have to go through points and all that, no. Okay. No. All right. Number 2. What is the second question we must ask here? We must ask them if they are okay with the wholesaling process and if they know about it. Why do I ask them this? I want to see if they actually understand wholesaling. Okay. I really want to understand if they understand what wholesaling is, because if they don't know, and they might want to actually not even do a deal with us if they don't understand it, right? Because if they know how wholesaling works and they know that we're going to make money, I think it's fine. If they understand that they have to deal with my title company, if they understand they have to deal with my type of walkthroughs, how the walkthroughs work, it's not an open house. You get the property for cheaper. You deal how the assignments work. You have to sign assignment. They understand how wholesaling works and what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. It makes sense to them, right? If they don't understand it, you can educate them and then go from there. A lot of wholesalers don't ask this question, and then they get upset that the cash buyer is upset with you making an assignment fee, or they're upset with you using your title. All that, like, it's stupid. Okay, make sure they're okay with the wholesaling process and they're comfortable with it, because they have to be comfortable with it. Okay. Number 3, and this is kind of the same thing, but I specifically, I don't know. I was looking up at my board what to write the right way, but okay. Are they okay with my assignment fee? And what do I specifically mean by this, the assignment fee? Okay. What I mean by the assignment fee is, are you okay if I sell you a deal, if I sell you a deal at $200K and I'm getting a $150K assignment fee if I locked it up for 50K? That's pretty much the question I ask. And the reason why I ask that is, are you okay if I get a $150,000 assignment fee? I never will, and I probably would love it, but I'm most likely not. Are you okay with me making $150,000 on this? Let me know. No, I'm not okay with you. Then they're not a good cash buyer. Don't deal with them. They need to tell you, as long as I buy it for the price I'm okay with, I'm good to go. Okay. That's it. It's a setup question. Okay. It's a gotcha question. All right. It's a gotcha question. Gurus give me gotcha questions all the time. Most recently, some guru told me, he said, Zach, why would free wholesaling information doesn't work? Because you need skin in the game. So why don't you put skin in the game? It's a setup question. I said, well, the skin in the game is people's time and people spending their own marketing dollars, right? I thought it was hilarious, but that guru got very upset with me. But like, I get DMs all the time from people like, oh, what's your end all on this, guys? Are you okay with me making 150K? If they are not okay with it, then they're not a good cash buyer. Screw them. Okay. Legit cash buyers, they have to be okay to make 150K, because guess what happens? If I ask them if they're okay with 150K and I end up making 40K, they're like, oh, I don't care. That's not 50K, right? It's just so funny, right? Because I think so many gurus never teach that. But like, if you ask that question and they're like, dang, he's makes 70K, but I did say I'm okay with that, so whatever, right? It's just, if you don't say it, if you try to make it hidden, no, okay? And honestly, guys, between you and me, if you're making over 50K, you're probably going to double close it, so it doesn't matter. But you still want them to be comfortable with it, because I see a lot of issues with cash buyers where, let me rant really quick. Here's a big issue with cash buyers. So if you're only using 2 buyers and they know you only have 2, deal number 1, you'll probably make 30K. All right. Deal 2, probably make 25K. And this cash buyer is like, dang, this is how a lot of cash buyers get greedy. That's why you need a good amount of them. They're like, dang, you know what? This kid, I could probably get it for lower. So deal 3, they're going to say, I can buy it, but it's going to be 10K lower than whatever they even offer. so you only make 15. And they say, you know what? This kid's his only buyer. He's making 5. That's all he deserves. And then you end up for deal 4 through 10, if you only have one buyer, only making 5K. Deal that fifth deal could be a 30K, but only 5K because you only have one buyer. And that is a huge issue. And that's why I give you all these strategies. You don't want a cash buyer to be obsessed with your assignment fee, and they just start lowballing you because they think you have insane fees for. So double closing when you have a big fee is going to be really important, but having multiple buyers. See, if the cash buyer knows you, there's like 30 other buyers, they don't care about your assignment fee. They only care about the assignment fee if they know you're the only buyer, right? So number 4, again, I kind of touched this, but I specifically asked this. Are you okay? So are you good using my title company? I'm using 1 Main Street Title. That's who I use. Are you okay with that? Remember, you're paying title for this. That is the one I use for my wholesaling. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's the one you're using, right? So make sure they're okay with it. But it's pretty self-explanatory from there. Number 5, again, this is really simple, but let them know that there's an earnest money deposit and that it is whatever one you want. I probably do $2,500 earnest money deposit. Maybe you can get away with $3,000 if you really want, but I would not do anything lower than $2,500, and let them know that that deposit is non-refundable. Okay? That is a non-refundable deposit. Just so they understand. It's a non-refundable deposit. Once you get that deposit in, it is non-refundable. As long as they understand that, you're good to go. Okay? You're not here to play games. It's a non-refundable deposit. I think so many people get really stressed out over that. But I like it. So make sure they're okay with the EMD. Works really well. Next here on the board, number 6. These are all questions you have to ask. These aren't suggestions. These are musts. Okay? This is kind of a question for them. This is kind of not us telling them what to do, but this is number 1. Well, number 6, right? We want to get their buy box. And what's a buy box, right? So a buy box, we're just going to be asking specific questions of where they're looking to buy properties. So number 1, kind of like, Bed Bath and square footage, right? Oh, I only want to buy 3 2s under 1,400 square feet, right? You might get something like that, right? No big deal, right? Number 2 on the buy box, zip codes / areas that they buy. And number 3, anything else, right? Anything else that needs to be criteria where I know if it is not this, I don't send it, or it is, I send it. And most of them don't really care, but those are the 3 questions you have to ask for the buy box, because you don't want to send somebody a deal that's not right for them, right? Because then they're going to upset with you. And pretty much from there, if you send them a deal, it's like, well, this is in your buy box. So it's either the price, right? Because it's not the property. And that's pretty much it, right? A lot of people have different buy boxes and stuff like that. But a lot of the flippers, like, as long as they make money and flip it, I'm good to go, right? Now, number 7 here is pretty much just going to be, this is really, like, you can ask even more questions, but like, we're just going to keep the 7. But I only ask, this is not a guaranteed one where they have to say yes, but this is something that always helps me out. How many houses have you bought in the past year? Have you bought in the past year? And then you get the question. So if somebody says, oh, I bought 10 houses. Okay. And then you might say, can I get the addresses, or can I look them up on the LLC just so I can see what your criteria is? And then you'll see the LLC. Then you'll see those 10 ones. Specifically, if they say about 10, you're going to ask, how many from wholesalers? And they might give you like, I bought 3. No big deal, right? Then I know they've bought from wholesalers before. So this person has already bought in properties from wholesalers. They're probably a really good cash buyer. Those are the questions you have to ask, because once you start getting into that, things start really opening up for you guys. I'm telling you. So remember, guys, how many properties you've bought in the past year? They say 10. How many from wholesalers? So let's recap. Let's kind of recap let's recap from the top. All right. So how do you find cash buyers? There's 4 ways. There's Facebook groups. You either do it by posting or harvesting them. Pretty simple. Cold call in the 4 rents. I prefer Zillow. 3, cash sales. ListRA.com. You use realtors. Use all these strategies we do. Auctions. We actually find wholesaling title companies. Pretty much what I could tell you is 10 to 15 cash buyers going to be with the title company per month. So there's going to be hundreds on there. Just ask them nicely. And again, what are the questions we have to ask our buyers? Number 1, proof of funds. Get a proof of funds from them. Cash buyer, not a hard money buyer. Number 2, are they okay with the wholesaling real estate process? Remember, if they're not okay with it, not a good deal. Are they okay with my assignment fee? Are they good using our title company? Make sure they know we have a non-refundable earnest money deposit. What is their buy box? What properties they're looking to buy? How many properties they've bought in the past year, and how many from wholesalers. That is a recap. That is exactly how you find cash buyers in minutes. That's how you find as many buyers as possible. And that's how you find buyers that are going to overpay on your wholesaling real estate deals.